Hi everybody. So we're starting on day 4. I can't believe how quick this time has gone. It's ridiculous. Like we're on day 4 already. Tomorrow is the last day. And I just hope that you're getting so much out of this challenge. So hashtag live if you're live and hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Okay, so I just wanted to share with everybody, I absolutely love sharing this information because I know that it's not really widely available, especially what I'm sharing today. Some of you may have heard some of the other stuff before. You may understand about that your mind is the most important thing. Everything that you do is about your mind. If you don't believe in yourself and you have these goals and dreams, it's going to be really difficult for you to achieve your goals and dreams because your mind will sabotage you and your body is the slave. So, and it shouldn't be, but unfortunately that's how it's set up because what happens is we've programmed our minds to continuously be on the go, 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 go. And then what happens is the poor body's got to follow the command of the mind or the brain. Depends on how you want to look at it. And then what happens is we then don't know what to do with all this information that we're bombarded with, and we don't sit down and reflect and look at our day. So basically we're just living the same life every single day because we don't learn from the obstacles that we're creating for ourselves. So we all create obstacles in our life and we don't realise that we're doing it. I just had the most amazing session. I have weekly sessions with a group of people and they're amazing, absolutely amazing. We dig really deep into things and two beautiful ladies today brought some amazing examples and I'm just going to share a small snippet with you because obviously this today is about dreams, but whilst we're waiting for a few people to come on, I'm just going to share this, what I've learned. I have seen thousands of people and coached thousands of people how to rewire their brain. And what I've noticed is the ego is actually your best friend. And some spiritual books and some personal development books will tell you otherwise. They will tell you that your ego is there to sabotage, it's there to destroy you. It's not. Your ego is there and designed to completely and utterly protect you in every way. But what happens is our ego is programmed before we're age 7. We go through this egocentric stage and it lasts until we're around 7 years of age. And what happens is if our parents had anxiety, if our parents had stress, if our parents had anger, then that's how we respond and react to dangerous situations where we feel fear. And from that, we then react in ways that doesn't feel true to us, but we do. And then we start to work on ourselves and we see these things. And then suddenly what happens is we then might read a book or we might see this guru who tells us our ego is bad and it's there to destroy you and positive psychology, just look to the great, look to the good, always flip everything. And I have learned that the best way to be completely in control of your life and feel true freedom, that's what I do. I bring freedom to people's lives and I teach them this philosophy through various programs. And you've had a really minute snippet of this information, a minute snippet of what I'm actually sharing in my programs. But what I've learned is if you don't deconstruct the ego and work on the ego to train it to be your best friend, it will continually sabotage yourself and you'll continually have to work on yourself. It's just like putting a band-aid over a hole in the wall and thinking that that hole's going to disappear. It's not. You need to rip the band-aid off and you need to take back all of the plaster, or plaster, as you say where I'm from, and you need to take it back and you need to make sure that when you're filling that hole back in, there's no loose bits. And that's how I describe the work that you need to do to be able to change your life. You need to go, right, okay, my ego is my best friend, but sometimes it's not. And that's because it helped and protected me at some point in my life. Remember that. Pretty much every pattern that you have has served you at one point in your life, but it may have only served you once, and you've kept using and repeating and using and repeating. And then what happens is we set these subconscious patterns and we perceive things. Then we rewire our reticular activating system, and suddenly our whole life is running on programs that are destroying us in a really deep way. So, my question to you right now is, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to look at your ego? Are you willing to let go that your ego is fighting you? Are you willing to let go that you're going to have to work the entire rest of your life? Because it's not work. It is freedom. This is how you get freedom. This is how you become successful in life. This is how you become rich. And this is not monetary stuff. This is richness in feeling great about yourself, richness in the experiences that you create for yourself. You won't create rich and successful life if you're running off of programs that were created when you were 3 years of age. You're not going to run a rich and successful relationship or relationships around you if you are running off a subconscious pattern when you were 11 years of age where you were completely rejected. There may have been a separation where your parents split up, and you're completely using that experience of how your parents reacted with one another, how you are in your relationships, and you have no idea that it's running you. Unfortunately, most of us live our lives like that. I did. The difference is it became that unbearable for me because it left me with a disability. I was running the subconscious patterns of my mum, who had mental health issues, undiagnosed for most of her life. I was running off subconscious patterns from my grandparents and from my dad. I had a very small family, and I ended up with depression through isolation because pretty much most of my life was under isolation. I was an only child, an only grandchild, and then an only niece and nephew until I was like 14 years of age. I was brought up in a really bizarre environment. My parents treated me as a lodger. I never felt loved. I never felt cared for. So all my subconscious patterns were, no one cares about me. No one gives a shit about me. I'm not worthy. If my own parents don't give a shit about me, then who is going to? And my whole life was built on that, and it completely destroyed my body to the point that I ended up with 3 autoimmune diseases. And I just don't want another. I do this because I don't want anybody to experience what I did. It was hell. My life was hell up until about 5 years ago, when I really started to look within and started to change this. And I have studied this for years, but now I really understand what is going on for people. I really understand the ego constructs that have been created to protect you, but they're destroying you. And don't get me wrong, not all of them are destroying you. Some of them are working beautifully to keep you alive and healthy and fit, but most of them are not. Most of them are stopping you from being who you truly want to be. And if you're not truly who you want to be, then really, life is going to be uncomfortable for you because you're going to fear every decision that you make. So, I know I've spent a lot of time on this, but I just think it's really important, and it's going to lead me into the dreams. So, hi Judy, John, Donna, Linda, Sybil, Claire, Lynette. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. So, dreams. Really interesting. Think about it. So, what I've just shared so far now, you might not be aware of these patterns, but you know what? They come out in your dreams. Everything comes out in your dreams. Any disturbance within inside of you comes out in your dreams. And I'm going to just share with you my interpretation of what dreams are and how it works and how the whole process works. And I'm sharing this information with you because it's really, really useful. And this is the stuff, this 5-day challenge is the stuff that should be taught at school. It should be taught at school. Absolutely should be taught at school. Hi Terry. So I'm getting really passionate now. Let me have a drink of water. There's a part of the brain called the hippocampus. Okay, and what happens is the hippocampus consolidates your memories from short term to long term. Okay, so what happens is on a night you go to sleep, and it works in 2 hour blocks. Okay, so the hippocampus, what happens is in your first 2 hours of sleep, it will process about 15 minutes. Okay, so 15 minutes of your short term memory will process into long term memory. It just works out what you need to keep and what you don't. It sorts out the junk, the rubbish. So if you're not sleeping, then pretty much you're not allowing your hippocampus to sort and file stuff out. And this is why you can't remember stuff. So if you've been suffering from anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic pain, you are not consolidating your memories. And that's why you think that your memory's bad. It's because it's backed up. You've not allowed the hippocampus to do the job. So the first 2 hour block is 15 minutes. Then the next 2 hour block is 30 minutes. And it goes up in 15-minute increments. And it's not 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's 15 minutes. And then it's another half an hour. So it's 45 minutes is being processed in that time. The deeper that you go into the sleep cycle, the more work the hippocampus does. In the first 2 hours, it only spends 15 minutes processing. Okay? The information and storing it long term to short term. What happens is if there's a disconnection or a disturbance, or it doesn't know what to do, it's not sure what to do with the information, it comes up in a dream. So then you dream something similar to what's happened to you in the day, and you might not even realize it. And it will use characters from your life, it'll use other people, it might not even be you. It might be a really far-fetched scene, but when you really sit down and interpret your dream, what happens is you look at it and you go, that's interesting. That's really, really interesting, because I felt like this and my dream showed this. It takes time to do this. I am pretty good at it. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I am. I'm very good at it. And the reason why I'm good at it is because I've done so much work on myself. Okay? And a dream tells you everything. It's your inner counselor. So if you sit down and give yourself time to reflect what's happened in the day, then your dreams aren't always as bad. They're not as disturbing. So if you know anybody who's experiencing nightmares, it's because during the day they're completely suppressing everything, but it has to come out at some point. So it comes out in nightmares, and it comes out in people have night terrors because they're suppressing that part of themselves. Sorry about the long pauses. The internet's really bad today in the Blue Mountains. It's been a bit it's been a bit poor. So what happens is if you do work on yourself and you're processing what you're doing during the day, then your dreams are then just a deeper level of the work that you've been doing in the day. If you've not done much work on yourself and you're wanting to do work on yourself, sit for 15 minutes a day and reflect on, was I showing up in the world of who I wanted to be, or was I showing up in the world of someone I don't want to be? And then what you do is you sit there and you just sit there and observe, and you just observe your life, and you observe how your behaviours. If you don't spend the time, then you're not going to see these patterns. And if you're not going to see these patterns, you are just going to be floating around in the Atlantic Ocean or whatever ocean, Indian Ocean, wherever you imagine yourself, and you're just going to be floating around wondlessly. And you will end up somewhere, but it won't be where you wanted to end up. You're just hoping that the tide will take you somewhere that you want to go. And unfortunately, that's not how life works. You have to steer the ship. Okay? You have to steer the ship. If you don't steer the ship, then you just live in somebody else's dream. And if you're not living somebody else's dream, then you're not living a dream at all. Okay? So please, everybody, start sitting down with yourself for 15 minutes a day, looking at your life during the day and interpreting your dreams on a night. And how you interpret your dreams on a night is you look at what you reflected in the day and just see, is there some kind of match? So Fiona said, what if you often don't dream? I only remember them lately, those nights when I take melatonin. Okay, interesting question. I was actually going to answer that. You must have known that I was going to answer that. So what happens is there's two reasons why you don't remember your dreams. The first one is, yes, always keep a pen and paper handy. The first reason why you don't remember your dreams is because you have had nightmares when you were a kid. And if you've had nightmares when you were a kid, you possibly, without realizing it, you've asked your mind, your brain, to not tell you what the dream is. You've created a neural connection and a neural pathway to say, I don't want to know about the dreams. So it never shows you them. So what you need to do is every night before you go to sleep, say, please, when I wake up, show me the dream that I had in the night. You just ask the question. It may take a few nights before it comes through, because remember, you may have programmed your mind not to remember it. Your brain might be going, oh, well, this is not going to work. It's not going to help. Now, the other thing is it could be the fact that it's too painful and you just don't want to remember. And maybe you're not there to process that information. Now, what I mean by this is if you are experiencing anxiety and PTSD and you're not ready to face what has created that within your life, then you won't want to access your dreams. Therefore, your dreams won't come, because it's a protection mechanism with you in your brain. It goes, you're just not ready for that. The saying, you're only shown what you're ready to see. God only gives you what you're ready to work on, pretty much, is, I forgot the actual saying, but you're only given what you're ready to work on, okay? If you're not ready to work on that, then it's not shown to you. So if you're not ready to break through your anxiety or your PTSD, and that dream is going to help you do that, then you're not going to remember that dream, because you have said, I'm not ready for it. You don't have the emotional capability of dealing with it. So, and another thing is, if you're not sleeping well as well, if you're not going into REM sleep, you're not actually going into dream state. If you're not going into dream state, then your hippocampus is not going through your memories and consolidating them. So remember that if you're not sleeping well, the chances of you remembering your dreams are lessened immensely, because you're not actually going into dream state. So that's it for today. It's a very short one today, but I want for you to understand that this all can be done. You can do all of this on your own. Absolutely, you can do all of this on your own. But I have spent a hell of a lot of time and money learning what I've learned. And I give you the shortcut. And some of the work that I do with my clients, they would never have accomplished in a lifetime, and I've done it in 1 or 2 sessions. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when you live a life of suffering, there is no freedom. And when there's no freedom, then what's the point? And I don't want my little boy living in a world where people are held in shackles and they don't like who they are and they're reacting to everybody and they're hurt by everything. They have no resilience. They're not living the life. They're not living the dreams. And they're walking around hypnotized in a state of anxiety, in a state of depression. I want to live an amazing life. I also want my son to live an amazing life. So for selfish reasons, that's why I do this. For selfless reasons, I absolutely love helping people. It feeds me. It lights me up inside. And when I help another person break through something that they thought they could never get through, brings me to tears. It really does, because for years, I thought I was worthless. And for years, I thought that I had no purpose and there was no point of me being here. And I lived that every day. And I can help people not feel like that anymore. That's why I love what I do, and that's why I share so much information in these videos, because it's needed. And we all deserve to have an amazing life, because you know what? Every single one of you is a bloody miracle. Think about it, how many sperm we're fighting. What are the chances if one little thing changed in your parents' life, you may never ever have been created? Just one little thing. One little change, you may never have been created. You're a complete and utter miracle. And I want every single person to know that they're a miracle and they're worth it. And they are incredible. Because I know what it feels like to not feel that way about yourself. And now I don't. I know I'm a really good person and I'm doing really good things in the world, and it's the most amazing feeling. And I want everybody else to feel that. And I'm emotional because it just feels so freeing to be able to share the truth of why you're doing what you're doing. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you everybody for turning up and showing up and doing the homework. And there's also been a Facebook post about asking the question, where's it gone? I'm not good at these questions. I write these questions and then I forget. Did you ask before going to bed to remember your dream? So tonight, before you go to bed, ask yourself to remember the dream tomorrow and just write down, have a pen and paper handy at the side of your bed and write down your dream. And just learn about yourself. It's the best thing you'll ever do with your life is learn about yourself, because you know what? You are important. You are so important, and you don't know why you are here. You don't know why you are here. And if you don't look at yourself and look at the lessons and learn from them, you probably never will. And what a waste of a life not knowing why you're here. So don't waste your life. And I'd absolutely love it if you joined the Freedom from Pain community and be part of this movement. I'm creating a movement so people find who they are in the world and no longer bloody suffer. And live other people's dreams. Live your own dream. You're worthy of it. You're a goddamn miracle. Remember that. You're a bloody miracle. And you created you. You created you. Think about that. Your mum didn't create you. Your mum incubated you. You created you. Your cells doubled, tripled, and they just kept creating. You created you. That's how much of a miracle you are and how amazing you are. And I know I'm going really bloody spiritual now, but I want people to just realise they are incredible, and I'm here to help them feel and own how incredible they are. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And please, if you know anybody who's going to benefit from what I'm sharing, add them into the group. Add them in, share this group. This information needs to get out there. This information needs to get out there. And if you're tuning in and you're watching these videos, I know that it must be helping you, or you wouldn't waste your time. Okay? So I know that these videos are helping you. So help someone else and share this group and get this information out there. And I am so looking forward to spending tomorrow with you. It's going to be our last day, and I'm going to be going through a meditation. And hopefully, if my little boy's quiet and he don't pop in or get tickled to death by his dad, that we'll have a little meditation. And I want to share with you how you can meditate for you, how you can find your way, because your way may be different to everybody else's that you've come across, and that's okay, because we're all individual and we're all unique. So thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I don't apologise. Do you see that? The self-worth is still there in habits. I don't feel like I need to apologise for being emotional at all. But part of my subconscious patterning there was to apologise. Do you see? When you catch yourself, how quick I caught myself then. Just went, no, I don't need to apologise. I'm being vulnerable and being myself so people can learn and they can grow. So take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.